There he is, he's Chops Rickman. Put your hands together for Chops.
Thanks, Shane. Ian Morrison, can you get a bit of quiet down the back there, please, mate? Quiet. Funny thing is, you know, like when Roundy came to Williamstown in 1986, apparently he played at South Melbourne on Footscray. But when he came to Willie, he, for kids like us, he became a mate and he changed our lives. So for all those Williamstown boys that Roundy changed their lives, I want you to come up and stand behind me right now.
Put your hands together for the Williamstown boys.
So,
Wheels, there you go, mate.
including our club doctor, Manny, including our club doctor, who in the VFA in those days, in the early days, after a game against Port Melbourne with Jack Love and Jack and all the lunatics are over there, Gusher. 16 blokes had stitches after the game, and our club doctor had 12 cans in the first half and 4 in the second half, and he sewed Roundy's eyelid to his eyebrow. So Roundy's walking, he's trying to have a beer in a social club and he couldn't close his eye. You forgot that, didn't you, Manny? Is that it? Jesus, I thought there was more than that. Sorry, I just put my glasses on. Right, here we go.
No, not too long. Just a quick story. The reason I'm up here is because Roundy did change my life. I was at Willie Footy Club for a long time, and this person came along who I didn't really know. I knew he was a good footballer, etc. And all of a sudden, he actually took over the club. He made us all feel a big family, which is always the ethic of a VFL side, AFL and the VFA in those days. And we all became mates. And the fact that we're here now is testament to that. We're stuck together. And unfortunately nowadays, a lot of the clubs, they lose that. They play a couple of years and then they move on. Well, Roundy was part of the thing that glued all these people together. Thanks, Choppers.
On you, Doc. I've been charged with the responsibility from the Willie Footy Club, by the way, to just read out a couple of small paragraphs from guys who have dedicated some words to Roundy. Guys who were very close to him and were teammates of him and mates, obviously. So I just want to start with Tony Hanbury. Tony, can you just come and stand here? Not too close, that'll do. So Tony Hanbury was our president and did a great job with Williamstown Footy Club in our time. So these are Tony's words that I've just been asked to read out. So if I can just have quiet down the back, I promise I won't take long, no bullshit. So much to say, so many stories about the big beautiful man that enriched all our lives. I just want to share a very special moment when a group of us from 18 years old, I've had 15 schooners, I'm reading the wrong story, sorry. Pass. I'm sorry, Pass. Hannah, sorry. I was Tony Hanbury. Sorry, 2D. Sorry, mate. I was president of Willie Footy Club in 1985 when we finished runners-up to Sandringham. Where is he? Where are you, Morrow? Not happy. We were looking forward to the 1986 season, again under Wheels, Terry Wheeler. And we're keen to recruit some quality good players. But I pointed out most forcefully at the AGM, Hannah did, he was our president, to all the members present that he didn't want to recruit any so-called VFL or AFL has-beens that just want to come back and play for the money and then piss off and not become mates. So he said, there's no way known we're recruiting anyone over 30. I guarantee you we will not recruit anyone over 30. 2 weeks later, Roundy and Wheels signed 36-year-old Barry Round. And in Hannah's words, he's never been more happier to be wrong. Barry was a legend, beautiful man, who just settled into the club so easily. He bought 10 seasons tickets when he signed on for his friends and his mates. That was an early example of what Roundy was about as a person. He was great with the adoring fans, and he had plenty of them down there, let me tell you. He attended every function that we had. The sponsors loved him, and as they got to know him, more and more sponsors come on board, which was extremely important for a fairly struggling VFA club at that time. Money was never an issue with Roundy. He didn't give a shit about it. He was just generous, and that was one of his faults. He moved his family to Williamstown. At one stage, those who don't know, Tony's a barrister, so he knows a few in the law. At one stage, Roundy was living in Hannon Street, next door to the Lady Mayoress of Williamstown and her husband, who was a local magistrate. They owned two very large St Bernard's dogs. One night they were disturbed by some strange noises, and they looked out the back only to see Roundy and one of his best mates, Tony Spud Dullard, obviously had a couple, and they're trying to ride these St Bernard dogs around the backyard. So just from Tony, just to finish off, he wants to thank Barry for all the joy that he brought to himself personally and countless others within the Williamstown, the VFA, generally. Can't believe that he's gone, but there's so many memories of Roundy that he's going to keep forever. Thanks, Anna. Sorry, Pass, I jumped the gun there before. Come here. Two-time premiership player, Tony Pastore, with Barry, by the way. Pass, so much to say, so many stories about a big, beautiful man. He enriched all our lives. Pass just wanted to share one really special moment, which happened in December. There was a group of punters club. We've had a punters club going for 20 years. Started at my 40th. So for 20 years we've had a punters club going with about 16 of us. They all played at Williamstown. Roundy was part of it, and a few of the boys went up to Val. That's a schooner. A few of the boys went up to Gold Coast, as we did every year in December, to see Roundy and go to the races and spend our money. And in Pass's words, we could tell that he wasn't travelling that well. He never whinged once, and he couldn't stay that long the first night they were there. But he came in the next morning. The boys, we have a 8-bedroom house in Broadbeach. Sounds pretty flash, and it is. And so Barry used to come over and bring about 5 kilos of bacon, 3 dozen eggs, and 3 loaves of bread, and cook breakfast for us. And he just said, I just love to see my boys. He treated us like his boys, his kids. And we treated him like he was our dad. It's exactly the relationship these Williamstown boys had with Roundy. He stayed for us with part of the day. He was on his zeros. The next day we had a day at the Broadbeach Bowling Club, and he came along and he stayed for a few hours. And then when he left, he unlike Barry, he went around, he hugged everyone, told them that he loved them. So in Pastor's words, he knew at that particular time there was something going on that Barry knew that he wasn't letting on to us, to his mates. So, you know, we'll always treasure Tony. We'll always treasure the part of his life that Barry was involved in, and there's so many memories and so many stories. You know, I heard the boys earlier who were talking about stories about Barry. We would have that many stories. We'd be here till Wednesday. So, you know, on behalf of Tony, RIP, big, beautiful Baz, never forgotten. There's a few of us can recall ever spending a moment with Barry when it wasn't happy.
Yes.
There's a warmth, strength and generosity in our relationship with him. We all felt safe and welcome in his company. And I reckon if there's 1,000 of us search the corners and crevices of our relationships, we wouldn't find a better bloke than Barry Round. We loved him and he loved us. We were touched by his amazing spirit, and he'll live forever. And we will, the Williamstown boys, will be forever moved by the way he inspired us and the way that he delivered his life to us. We, just in finishing, we are so grateful that he drove through the gates. In 1986, he had a choice to drive through the gates at Jellybrand Oval at Williamstown, dirty rotten Port Melbourne over the bridge, or go to Brunswick. And in Roundy's own words, Port Melbourne had 16 pubs and Williamstown had 17. And all these boys here, as a man and woman, there's girls over there, our wives that have grown up with Barry too, that become great mates with him. Roundy came in 1986 and spent 25 years in our lives in Williamstown. And like Stewie, about 40 hours before he passed away, I had the opportunity to talk to him for 10 seconds. And I just said, mate, the Williamstown boys love you, the Williamstown community loved you, and we thank you for changing our lives. R.I.P. Barry. I can sing the Gambler too, don't worry about that.